Yeah, getting more into why people like music, I want to ask you about goosebumps or goose flesh. I've had experience listening to music. I've been, wow, got shivers down my spine, that kind of thing. I'm sure it's universal. What kind of is the cause of that? Because I imagine like the evolutionary cause purely of goosebumps is to raise fur, right? We don't have fur anymore, but it was to raise fur, make us more scared of predators, I believe. So what does like that tie of being more aggressive and pushing off predators have to do with us liking a Beatles song, for example?
Yeah, so David Huron, music psychologist, has a nice book and nice account of all of this, and it's it has a lot to do with how music plays on our expectations, and and the fact that our brains serve this function of predicting what's going to happen in our environments next, and when something unexpected happens, they have to figure out, okay, well, what just happened, right? So that we can update our models of how the environment behaves and be better prepared next time, if you will. And so music, similarly, you can create these expectations and violate them or fulfill them. And so the idea is that when something unexpected happens, that it signals a change in the environment that's potentially threatening, right? So sort of the violation of expectations is also tied into fear responses, and that kind of responding is when you get piloerection, so the hair is raising on end, and it's just a very sort of quick and automatic system. And so by having sudden changes in music, violating our expectations, it can induce that kind of response. But because we're in a safe context, right, there's no scary animal coming to eat us, or nothing crashing through the forest to get us. We can find that kind of experience pleasurable. Probably the best analogy is, people liking horror movies.
I was going to bring it up, yeah.
Which I personally, I just can't deal with them. But that's how you explain why those are so popular, right? It's because you can experience these scary things in an environment that 99.9% of the time is actually safe, and thereby it ends up becoming pleasurable.
Maybe it's like spicy food, perhaps, too, It's a painful reaction, but you're totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, so it's really about that context being a safe context for us to then experience things that are perhaps a bit uncomfortable in. Mm. So that's that's one account of how one arrives at chills being a pleasurable experience.
Mm. So it's being a pleasurable experience because it's an unexpected thing, but we're in like a safe environment, so we should enjoy it. We're not being harmed by it.
Yeah. But there are other things. It's really a much more nuanced thing, right? So sometimes one can get chills even if you have an epiphany, or someone says something that really strikes true, or is really profound or something like that. So in such cases, one can also experience the chill, but I think it's harder to lay that feared narrative on top of that situation. So I think there's still quite a bit to be understood about how things that sort of engage us intellectually, because with music it can be that too, right? So it's some little particular configuration of sounds or some particular passage, or maybe a vocalist's voice, or maybe even a short phrase or something like that, right? That somehow seems very poignant to us, and that can sort of release that experience of the chill. So that's a little bit of a different account than the pure, violating expectancies in a safe environment sort of account.
Yeah, it makes me wonder about the similarities to getting chills with the speech of maybe a politician you like. We're talking about all this great stuff they want to do, and you get chills because think about the future and how good it can be. Maybe it's a similar experience with that with music.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So in the music world, I mean, people argue about music and emotion and its capacity to elicit specific emotions, or do we just perceive that there are emotions in the music? But some psychologists regard the experiencing of awe with music as being one of those emotions that music really does induce. And so that experience of awe is very often associated with the experiencing of chills also.
Mm. Yeah, it's very true. Wow, it's a good point about the feeling of awe with music, because there's so many different roads you could go down with that. I think that I want to ask you a little more about awe in the context of kind of culture.